Are you wanting to heal your relationship? Or maybe you're not sure, but you'd like to explore the idea, and that's led you to this podcast. I'm Morgan Robinson, and my husband Brad is an international affair recovery expert. Together, we founded Marriage Solutions, a multi-location group marriage counseling private practice devoted exclusively to helping couples heal and rebuild their relationship to stronger than ever before. In fact, we're the best reviewed couples therapists in the Midwest. Check us out at mymarriagecheckup.com.
Really reassure them that honesty helps, that it works. Be open, be honest, and reassure them that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. It's you that I want. Yes, I get discouraged when you're not open and honest with me. I don't really have a true desire to leave, but in these low points in our negative cycle, it hurts me that I'm not getting the truth.
Welcome to Healing Broken Trust Podcast. I'm Morgan Robinson.
And I am Brad Robinson.
And we are sitting in our car with a snoring toddler in the back seat. So if you hear like little, it's a little almost 2-year-old in the back seat sleeping, we thought we would record this podcast quickly. And we have some really great content for you today. So Brad, you want to tell them what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, Morgan, we're going to talk about how to encourage truth and honesty from the one who hurt us. And so just in a nutshell, because we literally have limited time because we're a little guy. How to encourage truth out of the one who betrayed us. I guess we ought to talk about why they don't always tell us the truth.
Okay.
So then we can talk about strategies to encourage the truth. And so why they don't always tell us the truth. Number one is they don't want to hurt us anymore. You know, they don't want to see us in pain anymore. They hate hurting us. They don't want to see us in pain. Number two is they don't know how much information is going to be too much information. They don't know, if I disclose this, is this going to be the thing that breaks the camel's back? Is this the last straw that just breaks the camel's back? And so how much is too information? Am I going to destroy you with this? Am I going to hurt you with this? If I tell you, yes, we did have sex. Yes, I did have an affair. Yes, there was that affair that happened years ago. How much of this is going to destroy you? And so one of the ways to encourage them to be open with this is they need reassurance. So here's a third thing, is they're afraid that we're going to leave them. Because everybody, again, says, if you cheat on me, we're done. I'm not tolerating this. And so how we encourage them to be honest with this is we reassure them, as long as it's genuine. We're not into deceiving them. And so they need reassurance to be open and honest.
So there's the 3 things that keep them from feeling like they can be open and honest, right, Brad? Is that right?
Yeah, there's 3 things. They don't want to see us in any more pain. They are afraid of how much is too much information. And lastly, they're afraid that we're going to leave. And so kind of from their perspective, it's, man, I feel terrible about this. I feel ashamed. I've tried to be honest before, and it didn't seem like it really helped much. It seemed like you got really upset. And besides that, you told me that if I ever cheated on you, you were going to leave me and we were going to get a divorce. So I want to keep us together, but I also want to keep our kids in a healthy, happy home without divorced parents.
Okay, so now we want to talk about ways you can encourage the honesty.
Yeah, basically how you encourage them to be honest is you have to really reassure them that honesty helps, that it works. Obviously, our podcast, is a resource that can point you in that direction, but you have to really encourage them to be open, be honest, and reassure them that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. It's you that I want. Yes, I get discouraged when you're not open and honest with me. I only have thoughts of leaving. I don't really have a true desire to leave, but in these low points in our negative cycle, yeah, I have thoughts of leaving because it hurts me that I'm not getting the truth. But when you're open and honest with me, that really encourages me to feel like I can stay in this marriage. Because the thing that someone who's betrayed really needs is they need to know that you are being different with them and letting them into parts of your inner world that you've never let them into before, or anybody into before. And part of that is honesty. Part of that is sharing your primary vulnerable feelings.
So the person who was betrayed, it's helpful when you can kind of communicate, yes, I have thought about leaving, like anyone would think about leaving, but it's just a thought. What I really want is for us to work on this relationship and to be able to just at least communicate that with them, that sure, I get upset because it's the natural cycle that a person who's been betrayed would go through, but that truly I do want the truth and I do ultimately want to stay, but only if I can get that truth.
Yeah, well, I want to reconcile. The truth helps me get there, but I don't see a path there unless I get the truth. Because if you withhold the details from me and the truth from me, I may end up choosing to be with you anyway, regardless, if I know everything and how bad it is. But you're taking away my choice. I don't know if you didn't get this person pregnant, or if this baby isn't mine, or, terrible things that happen that are very few and far between, but our mind goes there when we get betrayed. And so, if I don't know this information, I feel like a complete bozo, and you're also taking away my choice, my power to choose what I want. And
that's not very loving. That's not the foundation of love, is the choice to freely act in love, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so basically you have to give them a lot of reassurance that the truth will set us free, will not hold us back. I can forgive in one fell swoop, but it's a lot harder to have trickle truth. It's a lot harder to have the truth trickled out to me, but I can forgive in one fell swoop. So let's get it out. Let's not have that normal pattern of trickle truth, of it coming out in little, dripping, like a dripping faucet. But let's just get it out. Let's fill up the faucet all at once. Let's not do it in a dripping faucet style.
Okay, so what's another way that they can encourage the truth from the one who betrayed them?
I think that's the primary thing that you can do, is you have to just reassure them. I think the other thing is you have to realize, as the one who's been betrayed, they can't just wait around forever to get the truth. Like, they can't be a doormat and feel like, they're repairing the marriage. So they have to really feel like they're getting let into their spouse's inner world. That's part of the process of creating a positive cycle. Is like, you betrayed me. Now I know you're being open with me and honest with me. I'm feeling closer, feeling like we're advancing, feel like we're making progress, feeling more connected to you. To move forward, I need to keep being led into your inner world. I need all the truth to come out. And the person who was involved in the affair, they need reassurance that it's okay to really disclose this. That there's not going to be anything that's going to, and you have to really be explicit with it. Just because you're still together, a long period of time after the affair is over, doesn't automatically mean that they know that you're going to stay with them and that you're with them regardless. You have to really be explicit and very specific about your reassurance. I'm here. Yes, it's been 6 months, a year, 5 months. 5 years. It's been 20 years, 25 years, plus. I need that reassurance. It still needs to be communicated to them.
So it sounds like communicating clearly that whatever the truth is, you're going to do your best to stay calm, maybe.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And then another would be just being explicitly saying how you feel, explicitly saying what's going on in your mind and your heart, without it just being an explosion.
Yeah. Morgan, I think that's important. Is, we've talked about from day one, how you talk about the affair is just as important as what you talk about in the affair. And so staying calm, not exploding, not pulling out your guns, not pointing them at people, not pulling out your knives and throwing them.
Proverbial.
Yeah, proverbial and sometimes literal, not like freaking out. All of that discourages getting the truth. And so calm, as rational as you can be, all of that encourages the truth. Reassurance encourages the truth. And so, you really have to trust each other, because that's how you get into a positive cycle with this and move out of the negative cycle.
And I'd say, to something that you're saying that I'll just kind of make a little bit more explicit too, there's some level of patience involved, right? So you have to be somewhat patient with the process and with your spouse, but obviously not to the point where you're a doormat.
Yeah, nobody is asking you to be a doormat or feel like you got to give up your needs, in this for either party. Okay, Morgan, what happens when someone discloses the information to their injured spouse or injured partner is it takes the injured partner some time to process it. It's not an easy pill to swallow. It's like cough medicine. I need this. Yes, it does feel good to finally get the truth and the information, but it's not an easy pill to swallow. It's going to take them a little bit of time to process it and really incorporate all that. But ultimately, it's going to help them heal and help you guys heal as a couple. If you're in the beginning stages of this, though, my advice to you is it's always to get it all out in one setting. All the big details, all the relevant details in one setting. There are going to be some details that you're just going to forget that aren't going to be relevant, but all the big ones need to come out up front. If you had sex, if there was any sort of other physical intimacy, how long the affair lasted, when it began, who it was with, other specific questions that they're asking you, just get it all out at once. They can forgive in one fell swoop. It's a lot harder and re-traumatizing to just have it done, progressively over a period of time. It takes more out of them, and it's discouraging because you can be in a good place when you get this information out, but then to find out there's more information later, it can be really discouraging. It can be re-traumatizing, and it's harder for people to lower their walls again and start trusting again. And so if that's happened, you're not crazy. That's kind of the normal path that people typically take, but there's no reason you have to be normal in this. Or you have every reason to be exceptional and to really be able to work through this. And so you can do it. These are simple concepts, obviously not always easy to execute, but you can do it.
All right.
Other couples have done it, and that's typically the healing path that they take. And you guys can do it too.
Hey, one more thing. If you want to break free from the affair once and for all, go to healingbrokentrust.com for personalized help or a self-paced online program. That's healingbrokentrust.com. There, we can provide you with the personalized help you really want. healingbrokentrust.com. We'll talk to you soon.